When you are on the go, you need your credit union to be right there with you. Hughes Federal Credit Union makes your life easier. For 65 years, Hughes has called Southern Arizona home and has given back to our community. Isn't that who you want as your financial partner?
Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, the Arizona Wildcats have something to play for Saturday when they take on ASU in Tempe.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what that is?
They have seeding at stake.
Seeding at stake. It's not beating your rival. It's avoiding the 9:30 p.m. Thursday night
should have been
game
my answer.
at the Pac-12 tournament. All of a sudden, this game becomes very big for Arizona. If they win, you're still looking at a semifinal game against UCLA in the Pac-12 tournament, but a much easier road to get there. If they lose, it's late night in Vegas, followed by late night in Vegas. And if you've been to Vegas much, Greg, I know you go. 2 late nights in Vegas in a row. That'll kill you. That'll kill you.
Wander back into your room at 2 a.m., don't know what day it is. Of course, everybody who goes to Vegas has that issue.
Has that issue. But as you get older, you can't do it 2 nights in a row. ASU is a much better team, I think, than they were the last time Arizona played them. What makes them good, and will there be a matchup problem for the Wildcats on Saturday?
Be a matchup problem for ASU.
Yeah.
They don't have any tall guys. They're intriguing because they play 5 guys.
Right.
They have 5 guys averaging at least 30 minutes a game. That's never happened at Arizona.
Right, no.
It's happened twice at ASU.
Wow.
1998 and another year in the 90s. Who does that?
Right. But this is a team that is somehow better now that they've kind of literally shortened their bench and shortened their bench. It seems like they are better this way than they were when they were trying to mix in different guys and different styles.
They're, to me, almost contemporary college basketball if you're not an elite program.
Okay.
They run and shoot.
Right.
If they hit their threes, they can beat anybody.
Right.
They could beat Arizona if they hit their threes.
Right. And they've played really well. I mean, they beat USC last week.
Oh, USC just imploded.
Right. They've beaten USC. They played Oregon tough up in Eugene, which is something Arizona didn't do. This is going to be, I think, very telling both of ASU and of Arizona. I mean, Arizona's coming off a really dispiriting loss. Sean Miller was not happy with a handful of things in that game. What can Arizona show you Saturday?
If they guard.
Okay.
I watched the last 5 minutes of the USC-ASU game on Sunday. USC did not guard the Sun Devils in the last 5 minutes. Cody Justice, who is like a walk-on from Rincon High School, should have been the Pac-12 Player of the Week. He had 6 straight threes. Yeah. He was wide open. They never guarded him.
ASU has a guy like Cody Justice on every team, like Bo Barnes, just a guy who's going to step out. Bobby Laser.
He should have been the league's Player of the Week. He had a better week than Dylan Brooks, who got it. He had 19 against UCLA. That's pretty tough.
Score 19 against UCLA. Yeah.
And if he makes his first one, you better guard him.
Right.
You better elbow him.
Sure.
And ASU's got 5 guys like that.
Right.
I wouldn't want to play him.
No. Has Arizona plateaued?
Wow, I haven't heard that question. But U of A fans who hit the emergency button after every bump in the road probably are saying that now. I don't think they plateaued because Trier adds a new element.
Right.
And they're just learning how to. Is it too late to say they're learning how to work with him?
No, I mean it's March, but it's early March.
11 games.
Yeah.
I don't think they plateaued. I just think they had a tough game against a really, really good team.
Here's what I think is funny, Greg, and tell me if you disagree. I think that this team has the best chance to win a national championship of any team Arizona has had since like 2003. And yet they're going to enter the NCAA tournament likely as losers of 2 of their previous 5.
Yeah, 3 seed.
Right, as a number 3 seed. Explain that.
Well, the way we differ is I think there's been 12 to 14 better U of A basketball teams in this one.
Okay.
I don't think they're a Final Four team.
Okay.
They've got good players, more than most teams, but I've never thought it's a Final Four team.
I thought that when Trier returned and they beat UCLA the way they did, I thought that this team now had an added element that would really make them special in March. And, then sort of, it just seems like they, as a team, they haven't really gelled with him yet.
Yeah, I thought they would kick some fannies and take names after beating UCLA, and it didn't even come close to happening.
Right.
And so there's big questions moving forward.
Does your opinion of the team change if Lauri Markkanen goes out and scores 30 with 8 of 10 from the three-point line on Saturday?
If he makes 4 3-pointers, 3 3-pointers, my opinion would change.
Right.
He didn't make any last week.
Right. What scares me a little bit about Arizona's chances with Markkanen now is you're taking a guy who's really had a hard time shooting to begin with, and you're putting him in strange arenas on short notice, big arenas. I mean, you know this. You travel NCAA tournaments all the time. The reason sharpshooting teams don't usually do very well is because it's tough adjusting to new arenas and fields of vision and depth and things like that. When you get to the Final Four, my God, you're playing in a football stadium. But you're taking an already, I think, struggling shooter and putting him in an even harder situation.
Well, for 100 years, going into March, all the analysts say you need senior guards or really good guards, like Wichita State had last year. Both of them in the NBA now.
Right.
Arizona doesn't have that.
Arizona has Kadeem Allen, who's a really good defender.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the reason Arizona was so good in the tournament, I think, all those years was because it was point guard U for so long.
Yeah.
If you look at their point guard position, it may be their shallowest, maybe most questioned spot on their roster.
The one thing I like about Arizona's point guard situation is when Parker Jackson Cartwright shoots.
Yeah.
He's become their weapon, and he just doesn't get that many looks, though.
Right. He led the Pac-12 in three-point shooting a year ago. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised, but I am. I mean, I thought he was really not a factor early in league play, and he's since really turned it on.
Yeah, but nothing ever goes away. I think it's going to go this time of year on.
Right.
So don't ask me.
Right. It's all about just getting there, right?
Yeah.
You get there and then you roll the dice?
Yeah.
Well, Arizona will roll the dice against ASU here on Saturday in Tempe. Wildcats versus the Sun Devils in a game that will determine seeding for the Pac-12 tournament. That'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. For Greg Hansen, you like going to games in Tempe?
If you don't drive back at midnight.
There we go. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.